Welcome to Geeks Corner. I'm Mr. DAPs.
I'm Katie.
And we're remote again. How exciting is that?
Woo! We keep forgetting how to do this. So that's why it took a little bit longer tonight.
In fact, we are not doing it the way we normally would do it because I had to pull out a completely different system to get connected tonight. And it's been an adventure. And so my lighting is weird. I'm not using my normal camera, even though it's all set up in front of me. And
that's true.
And I'm not using our microphone. Like, we have this really fancy Yamaha mixer that we're not getting to use because, you know, that's just how it goes sometimes. The force was not strong with us. Well, it was with Katie, just not with me.
I just got really lucky. I even had time to put away my laundry, make my bed. Hold on, look at this, guys. My bed is made with all of my stuffed animals.
Fancy.
We're having a moment.
We are. And in this moment, what should people do?
You should go to geekscorner.live. Wow, that really took me a second. How long has it been since we've done this? You should go to geekscorner.live. And in there will be a chat feature where you can tell us all of your opinions. You can yell at us for changing the time on you this week. And all those things. So we love it fun.
You know, we like to keep it interesting, mix things up once in a while, you know. But we have a lot to cover because it was Star Wars Celebration this last weekend. And we were covering it. And there was a lot of ground to cover. We're not going to hit all of it tonight because there's other things to talk about as well. But we are going to do our best to work through some of the highlights of the weekend. And I think we should start off probably with opening day, which was on Thursday. And we were privileged. Katie was in the room. I was in one of the screening rooms to be able to attend the Lucasfilm Studios panel, I believe is what it was called. And it was basically the kickoff for all of Star Wars Celebration. And in it, we got to get a little bit of a peek at what's coming in the future. We got to hear a little bit about the past and actually a lot about the past. And it was a absolutely incredible, what was it, an hour and a half?
Yeah, it was a really packed hour and a half.
What was the highlight for you, Katie?
Definitely Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor coming out.
At the very beginning.
It was, I mean...
Then it was all downhill from there.
It was... When you have Ewan McGregor kick off your panel and go, hello there.
That was pretty cool.
There's no competition.
No.
And then also, Hayden Christensen being there and getting to feel the recognition from the fans. I was 100% very teary-eyed because it was one of those moments, and Ewan even spoke on the fact that he's very grateful that he has gotten to see the
evolution,
the love for the prequels come back. Yeah. He was like, we didn't get that at first, and Ewan is a very successful and talented actor either way, but Hayden Christensen didn't get that. So yeah, it was
well, it was kind of interesting because I felt like there was even some uncertainty with Hayden Christensen at the beginning of is this real? Are they actually clapping for me, or are they going to turn against me? You could see there was that bit of, I almost want to call it PTSD coming out, just because you could, fans aren't always the nicest, and that's just unfortunate. And we'll get into that a little bit later. But I thought that was an incredible moment from the opening ceremony. I also loved, actually, there were several moments that were really cool. They went into the Andor bit, and that was
which I was live texting Bailey.
Yeah, that was, and we got to see the first teaser trailer for Andor, and got to hear from Diego Luna, who I just think is one of the most charming people on the planet.
I love him so much.
Yeah,
I love him so much.
I don't think he can answer anything short. Is my first.
He gets so passionate and he gets so excited.
Yeah, and he just goes, which was really fun. But it also kind of took this oh, I'm excited for Andor to I can't wait for Andor now on what is it, August 31st, and it just took us to a whole new level of excitement for that show, getting 12 per season, 2 seasons, first one being 5 years out, the next one covering the next 4 years. And I just think I'm very stoked about where this is going, and I love that we're going to get to kind of hear the backstory of Cassian Andor.
Yeah.
We also got to look at Willow, which I remember watching the original movie when I was a kid. I have vague memories of it. I need to go back on Disney Plus and rewatch it because it really was one of those things where I remember watching it as a kid and the characters are familiar, but I couldn't tell you a whole lot about it. And I still can't say I know a ton about it, but I liked what I heard. And I thought it had one of the most charming moments of the morning when they all get the cast up there and the directors and writers, and nobody has a trailer or anything. And then Warwick Davies is like, well, I have it here on my phone. And then he pulls the whole, like, I'm going to stream it. And they're like, what? It was I thought it was a cute way to present the trailer for Willow, and it looks pretty. Like, it looks like it's gonna be a beautiful movie.
Yeah.
Bailey is suggesting a DAPs watch. I think that's a great idea.
I've never seen Willow, so I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's a very good idea. Maybe this weekend, who knows?
Maybe.
It's a possibility. You never know. But yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool. I'm trying to think what else was there opening morning before we get to the end and then talk about the big surprise.
Okay, how did we miss the beginning of the panel? Did you see it? Was it streamed to where you were?
Which part are you talking about?
Duel of the Fates.
Oh yeah, that was gorgeous. That was really cool.
So they opened with a huge choir performing Duel of the Fates.
Yeah, I think it was the Pacific Chorale.
Was nuts. It was incredible. Like,
with fog
and like red lighting.
Yep.
Nuts. Yeah, it was Obi-Wan, Andor, and Willow were the really, really big ones before they went on to the end. And may I say, and I know we're probably gonna get I know we're probably gonna get into this a little bit later with the other things we're gonna talk about. When Moses Ingram came on stage to talk about Obi-Wan, I fell in love with her immediately because she literally came out. She was dressed beautifully. She looked stunning. But everyone's clapping for her, and she said, y'all, I don't know how I finessed this. I am so happy to be here. Like, I am a part of Star Wars. This is insane. And it was that like giddy excitement of like, I don't know how I pulled this off, and I'm so happy to be here. I remember being like, oh my God, I love her so much. And the fact that she is that bright and beautiful and like excited about everything, and she plays this very deep, scary character.
Terrifying.
I love her. I think she's amazing.
I agree. I actually think that's a good time to go into this then, is she's not been treated well on the internet the last couple of days. And, it's time for all fandoms to take a stand and really back up the good guys. That's what Star Wars is about. That's what Star Trek is about. That's what most of these geeky things that we love about is good guys standing up against bad guys. And the way she's been treated has not been okay. And it's never okay to put people down for any reason. I don't care if it's for an opinion they have, the color of their skin, the way the people that they love, whatever it is. I think it's time that people need to really step up and graciously and kindly, when people are not kind, stop them.
I agree.
Thanks.
No, this is something that being YouTube content creators, and one of our most viewed videos is the Force Awakens trailer at Downtown Disney. We have seen the hate and the vitriol that exists, not just in Star Wars, but like everywhere. And so this is kind of our time to say that we are not for any of that. And if you think that you are going to find a place with us holding those opinions and those hates, you don't.
Well, it's not just us, it's anywhere. Like, it's if you're going to be mean to people, get off the internet. Yeah, well, that's really what it is. Like, if you're gonna be mean to people anywhere that we are a circle of influence, expect us to call you out on it, and it will be kind and it'll be gracious, and it'll offer a different opinion on how you can approach it. And we totally expect to get some negative responses to that, but it's the right way to do it. because she's a great person. She's a great actress, and she's terrifying me in Obi-Wan Kenobi. And there is absolutely no reason for people to behave that way. All right.
And it was to piggyback off of this,
Yes.
going back into Star Wars Celebration, seeing Kelly Marie Tran actually come back to Star Wars Celebration, and I did not expect that at all.
Yep.
If I was treated anywhere similarly to the way Kelly Marie Tran was treated, I don't know that I would show up to a Star Wars convention.
Yeah.
But I saw loads and loads and loads and loads of pictures of all these people wearing the same shirt that said "Be nicer to Kelly Marie Tran," taking pictures with her, and she just looks so happy. And I mean, my favorite moment of the weekend was Billy Lord and Kelly Marie Tran going up on stage and someone saying respectfully, none of us like her, and Star Wars saying respectfully, L+ ratio, which is, I loved it.
Yep. Yeah, so be kind. It's not that hard. Apparently it is, but I shouldn't have to say it, and I am. So we will keep saying it until something happens, and hopefully that is sooner rather than later. The opening panel also included one of the highlights for me of the morning. Well, there's two of them, but one of them was the celebration of the 90th birthday of John Williams, which also meant we got to hear for the very first time the Obi-Wan Kenobi theme, which John Williams wrote because he needed to. And I thought it was absolutely beautiful. There's elements of the Force theme in it. There's elements of the Star Wars theme in it. There's elements, I think, of a couple of other themes that I've picked up, including, I think, Rey, which I thought was interesting. But what did you think of the new theme, Katie?
I felt like I was having an out-of-body experience when I heard it for the first time. I'm not even kidding. If you know me fairly well, or you've met me in person, I've probably explained this. My brain gets too excited and shuts down sometimes. It's a thing. We all kind of have learned to accept it. That was one of those moments. I didn't shut down in a bad way. Like, I didn't but it was one of those, like, this isn't actually happening. So I kind of like disassociated in a weird way of like, no, this isn't real, while also being like, this is the most gorgeous music I've ever heard in my entire life.
And John Williams is right in front of you.
And John Williams is right in front of me conducting it. Like,
so were you closer then than we were at the Hollywood Bowl?
Yes, 100%.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
So then after that, Harrison Ford came on stage and wished John Williams a happy birthday and told him how much he meant to him and how John Williams had really written the soundtrack of his life and his music follows him wherever he goes. And that's a good thing. And it was one of those really cool, unexpected moments because I don't think anybody had it on their bingo card that Harrison Ford would be there this weekend. And I thought that was super cool. Then they played the Indiana Jones theme and announced that Indiana Jones will be coming out. I already forgot the date.
30th.
June 30th, 2023, which is great. We will see if they stick to that date, but I'm fairly certain this is the time that it'll actually happen. And then we heard, was it the Imperial March next? And that was pretty cool. And then I believe we got a one more thing kind of moment, if I recall. Is that when Ewan McGregor came back on stage and said, hey, we want you to come back tonight and watch Obi-Wan Kenobi. For the world premiere, which did end up happening that night. We ended up going to the D23 Galactic Disco, which was also a lot of fun. But before we get into that, what did you think, Katie, we've now seen the first 3 episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi without any spoilers, because I know not everybody has caught up. What do you think of this show so far?
It is haunting. It is terrifying. And it has reignited my prequel intrusive thoughts. I said this to everybody we saw at Star Wars Celebration this weekend because we had quite a few close friends there. After we watched the first episode and that prequel summary in the beginning, the first 3 minutes of the first episode that sums up the prequels is incredible.
Really
but then I did walk around the rest of the weekend going, "You're my brother, Anakin!" I literally could not stop saying it. It was very bad. But no, it's great. It's beautiful. It's a great time to be a Star Wars fan.
I totally agree. It's really awesome because it pulls from some of the best of the prequels. I feel like it pulls from some of the best of the original series, and it also pulls from Rogue One. It's got that end of Darth Vader. Like there's some moments in Darth Vader feel that scariness, that I think intensity that is Rogue One as well. And 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 we don't even know what's going to happen yet. But no, I've been really impressed with the writing, the directing, the cinematography. Like literally, you don't know what's going to come next, who's going to come next, where this is going to go. Like if you ask me to predict how this is going to end, I haven't got a clue. Like I've got some beat points that I'm like, I feel like I'm fairly certain these certain things will happen for Obi-Wan. But how they're going to happen, when they're going to happen, what exactly they're going to look like, I haven't got a clue. And this show keeps you moving at such an intense rate that you almost need to rewatch. Like I've watched the first 2 episodes twice now, and both times I've picked up more and more, and I kind of wanted to watch like all 3 episodes now, like as a movie, just go straight through, which might happen before next Wednesday when the next one comes out. And then I'd feel like I'd have to do the same thing of like all 4 at the same, all of that. But it's hard to say. Like The Mandalorian blew us away when it came. But in some ways, I kind of think this one might be topping The Mandalorian for me right now. I don't know. What do you think, Katie?
Yeah, it's doing it in a very different way. So Mandalorian is new characters, people we don't know, places we don't know, and this like it is a Western. It is cowboys in space. As where Obi-Wan is doing this entirely different thing, taking characters we know before with these characters, we know after with these characters, and it's telling sometimes where I believe it can be kind of a stale zone of like, well, not really any stakes because we know what's going to happen. Like we know how this ends. But it's doing it in such an incredible way that those are kind of like my top 2 Star Wars right now.
And the interesting thing too is Mandalorian has a much more original Star Wars feel to me. Like it totally fits in that original series trilogy look and vibe and feel. And this one has the right look, but it doesn't feel like the original Star Wars. Like it feels very. I think that's where I went with Rogue One. Is this feels like the intensity of Rogue One. And it feels like the I would say it mixes with the intensity of Rogue One, and then also maybe a little bit of Revenge of the Jedi, but in a whole new level. Like
you say Revenge of the Jedi?
Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, I did.
It's fine. I've done the same thing.
But no, they've done a really good job of pulling vibes from different movies and then creating their own with this. And I just can't wait to see where it goes. And I already am hoping for a second season.
Me too.
Yeah. We also had a conversation about The Mandalorian, which I believe you attended with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. Do you want to give a quick update on that one?
That was incredible. It was, first of all, a panel of like 13 people. And they called it Mando Plus because they talked about way more than Mandalorian. They talked about Mando, Book of Boba Fett, and Ahsoka,
right? Yeah.
With like the 3 big ones they talked about. The biggest things I took out of it is like Dave Filoni is so anxious all the time. And like he's always very worried. Like the things that he creates and curates are his babies. And he is so worried about anything being leaked or spoiled or any of that. We saw an extended Mandalorian trailer, which has my boy Babu Frick in it. Hey!
So are we sure it's Babu Frick, or is it
I think it is the species
that
is Babu Frick.
I mean, it'd be amazing if it was actually him.
Same way that we see the species that is Salacious Crumb.
Okay, got it.
But I will take it as long as they talk like him.
And even better, maybe it is him. Like, who knows? That'd be pretty cool. Maybe it's the backstory of Babu.
The book of Babu Frick.
It'd be a good cartoon.
Oh my god, I'd lose my mind.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah. Droid is ready.
So, what were your 2 big takeaways from this panel?
One is they were moving very fast on Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Ahsoka's only been filming since the beginning of May, and they had a trailer probably 45 seconds to a minute.
Probably
prepared.
everything they've shot so far.
Probably literally everything they've
Yeah.
shot. But it was a very well put together trailer with score and editing and all of, like, it wasn't, when they said it's very rough, I was like, oh, okay, it's literally like B-roll footage of the set. So that is moving very quickly. It is set for next year, I believe, like next summer.
Well, and I'm excited for it because there's clues in it that really further the story of Star Wars Rebels and the end of that. And in some ways, I'm more excited about that than the future of the Mandalorian, just for that reason.
It's fair. The other thing that I took away was how much everyone that works on the Mandalorian is insanely in love with telling the story. One of the stunt doubles for Pedro Pascal, because Pedro Pascal was there. They said that there is never any ego on the set. These are the people that are the best at what they do, but they never have any ego. They're never mean. They're never callous. They just enjoy being there, which makes it a much more enjoyable environment. And I think that's part of why I love The Mandalorian so much, is because everyone's...
Wouldn't you say that was true for the whole weekend in many ways? Like, I was thinking the panel, and you could see how much everybody loved each other. Like, whether it was Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni loving on Kathleen Kennedy, Kathleen Kennedy looking at John Williams with an adoring daughter kind of a look. And, you know, what is it? Katie
Sackhoff?
Speaking your last name. Thank you.
Katie Sackhoff.
Just how much love you could see. How much love you could see between all of these people for what they do and what they get to do together, and just the honor it is to be part of Star Wars. And you look at all of the talent that was shown on stages throughout the weekend, and that was kind of a recurring theme for me of the weekend, was how much they love each other and love what they do. And then the other thing I thought was funny, as I've been going through different interviews of the weekend, is I can't tell you how many people said, and I don't know if this was a talking point or if they legitimately think this, but I can't tell you how many times I heard, I love that we're getting to do this series and we're getting to explore my character more, or explore the backstory of my character, or explore the character and the motivations, or like Diego Luna basically said, Rogue One is about what happens to Cassian Andor at this one point in time. Andor is going to be the why of who Cassian Andor is. And I actually think it's probably true, because so many people independently came up with it, that I was just kind of like, and then the biggest one, you know, like, I didn't hear it from Hayden Christensen, and there was another big star that didn't say it. And I was like, I don't think it's talking points. I think they legitimately are excited that they're exploring character development more, because they can do that in a series that they couldn't do in a movie. Anyway, what was your second thing for the panel?
Oh, no, that was the other thing that I said, was that they all just enjoy doing it. There was a tattoo competition on Sunday that I entered, and I did not win, and
Who did you meet?
Say placements. That's what I was gonna talk about.
Go.
But I was just updating everybody. I got to meet Mike Quinn, who's the puppeteer for Nine Nub, and he was just so sweet and so excited. And he was saying, like, in the span of his career, he's met a couple people with Nine Nub tattoos, and it's been such an honor to him that the character has meant enough to people to do that. And he was like, I'm just like a guy. And then, of course, I went up to him and I only talked to him about the Muppets. So...
And what did he say his favorite Muppet was?
His favorite Muppet is the one that is currently on his hand.
I love that answer.
I thought was such a good answer.
That is a great answer. I think that's fantastic. We also got to cover the 35 years of Star Tours, which I went to, and that was very fun. And we had some Imagineers past and present talking about the development of the attraction, and I loved hearing just kind of the origin of how it was originally hoped to be a roller coaster, and then Tony Baxter, as in part of the process, was like, well, this isn't going to work because they wanted it to be a roller coaster that could have like different direction or different storylines it could go, and that would just take up too much space. And so eventually it led to them going with the what are they called? The
motion
simulator. Thank you. Which they went to the military for. And
Body Wars.
I also thought it was cool is Tony Baxter was talking about how he went to a guy's house that I'm spacing the name at the moment, but he was on the panel as well. And if Angela's in the chat, she can tell me his name. Anyway, he went to his house before Star Wars came out, and they were playing with these masks and all of these props and stuff. And it turns out they were from the movie, and I believe in the cantina scene of A New Hope, and they had to do some pickup shots for the team over in London. And so a couple of them actually ended up in the cantina scene, which is interesting because that means they shot the cantina scene in London and in Los Angeles. Phil Tippett, thank you, Angela. And I knew you know. But it was super cool to hear kind of the backstories of that, and then just the same kind of what we were talking about with the other panels is just the love the people had of the project and of this medium, and then of the people that they were doing it with. Like you could just tell they all had a genuinely good time putting this together, developing the characters. They had DJ Rex and Captain Rex come up on the stage, which was kind of fun. And I think the highlight of it for me was they got to show the original Star Tours ride through. Like they showed it to us, and it was really weird because you're seeing it on this huge screen in front of you. And I think we're in the third row or something like that. And the room's not moving, but I've been on that attraction so many times that I could legitimately feel what the simulator would be doing. Like in my imagination, I was like, oh yeah, right here, we're doing this thing. And that thing,
you had
whatever,
like a Pavlovian response.
Cool. Yeah, but you could just imagine what you were feeling at that moment, and like another fun thing that came out of that, you're talking about how the tractor beam, when you get caught in the tractor beam, was really a story beat of necessity because they needed to give the hydraulics times to recharge. So a lot of the things that happened had to be based on where the hydraulics were at any point, because if you're here, you can only go to here and here, but if you're at the bottom, obviously you can't go down. And that was kind of an interesting thing too, to hear the true mechanics, I guess you can say, and that had to go into making the attraction work. And that was a lot of fun. And we've got an article up on the website. You can check out more about that as well. So Katie, from Star Wars Celebration, as we're getting close to Geeks Corner Plus, what was your number one highlight of the entire weekend? No pressure.
Oh, that's really hard. I feel like being in the Lucasfilm panel on Thursday morning was for sure one of the highlights. That was also the only time I cried all weekend, which I know is probably surprising for some of you.
Shocking.
But it was just so fun to be in. And then close second, I have to say it, because I spoke it into existence during Geeks Corner last Tuesday. I got a tattoo.
Yes, you did.
I got the Skywalker saber, baby. Beautiful.
I'm going to say Star Wars Celebration Live was also very cool. We got to see,
yeah,
like we got to see Ashley Eckstein there. We got to see Pedro Pascal there, and those were very cool moments. I also thought it was very fun getting to meet up with the Her Universe group and seeing them throughout the weekend. And I got to host a Instagram Live for Her Universe, which was a lot of fun and completely out of my comfort zone because I'm used to being in my studio and my cameras and all of that stuff. But that was a lot of fun. And just seeing people, I think, was a lot of fun. Like we saw so many different friends from around. And one other thing, how could we forget this? The droid races. The droid races were amazing.
Were so much fun.
And we saw Chopper crash. Like it was amazing.
Literally went poof.
Bonk. Yeah, it was awesome. We have that video up on our YouTube, so check that out. That might actually be my highlight.
Was so fun because first of all, right before the droid races, we sat there talking to one of the builders. For like a solid 20-30 minutes.
Yep.
And he was very excited to show off his R2 unit and all of those things. And then we got to watch droid builders.
And we got to see inside of R2. That was pretty cool.
He took off a panel of It was, I literally was like, am I allowed to see this?
It was,
but
but wasn't it amazing at how empty it was in there? Like,
yeah, he's
there was a
home.
couple batteries and some circuitry, but it really, like, you could put stuff in there or something. I don't know.
You could use it as a purse, probably.
At
But
least.
then we got to watch the droid builders go head to head on this obstacle course created by other droid builders because they
Yep.
knew what the obstacles would be.
Yep.
And they had to start by like pushing a porg in a nest, which whatever, save the porgs, I guess, into a little square. And then they had to go around in figure eights and then back into a spot. And then it was nuts.
It was fun.
Like,
It was
I
very
couldn't
fun.
do it with an RC car. The fact that they're doing it with these big R2 units or choppers or whatever, it was so fun. And then there was also scrubber droids.
It was fun,
which was also fun to watch.
Yeah, it was all great. And I will say I've got a new goal in life is to someday do like sports commentary for a droid race because I just think that would be so much fun. No.
No, well, okay, that was the other thing was that they had commentators there. They had a panel, and
Yes,
they
they
would
did.
put on commentator jackets and sunglasses when they went to commentate on the droid races. It was wow. It was such
fun.
a good weekend.
It reminded me of the Masters where they put on the green jackets.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure that's what it was.
so I feel like they had to have won to get the race, but I don't think that's how it worked because I don't know. I feel like the guy that was doing the commentating, the main guy, has done this forever and he just knows like everybody. I don't know. But it was really fun. Welcome to Geeks Corner Plus. We're 2 minutes into it. You're welcome. It was very cool. And we're going to talk also Boba Fett and Fennec Shand are now at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. What do you think of this, Katie? Because this totally changes the way we know Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, kind of.
And Mandalorian and Grogu will be there later this year.
Yeah.
Which is a big deal. It's kind of going by Avengers Campus rules, where characters that don't know each other aren't going to be interacting with each other.
Yeah.
Which is like that is why Moon Knight and Mr. Knight were kind of away from everybody, is because they don't know anybody else in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So it makes sense from there, from a storytelling perspective. Like, these characters don't know each other. They're not going to be like, hey, Boba, what's up? I think Boba Fett fits amazingly in the land.
He looks awesome in there. He in some ways looks
so good.
In some ways, he looks better than any other character in the land.
And it's also like, I love Fennec Shand. She's just so cool and like really awesome. And like, also, I'm kind of afraid of her, and I think I would run away because she'd kind of kick my butt.
We'll see.
But I think this is what Galaxy's Edge has needed. And I think that this is a major welcome from me.
It'll be interesting to see if they consider Galaxy's Edge still canon. That's the only, like, I don't care either way. But the one question mark I had in with all of this was like, well, does that mean Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is still canon, or is it kind of this off to the side canon? I actually think if I were the one in charge, I would do it exactly like Avengers Campus, where it's its own galaxy. Like, it's the Star Wars theme park universe galaxy thing. But I love that they're bringing more characters in, and I can't tell you how many times we've had the conversation at Avengers Campus of, oh, I wish they do this at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, because I just think it brings it to life. The more characters you have, the more to life the land comes. Like, go through Fantasyland and you see, you know, Peter Pan or Mad Hatter and Alice, or like there's characters going through Mary Poppins, wandering through the land all the time. It's fantastic. Same with when you go to I don't know, Avengers Campus, obviously, but Main Street, that's what I'm going at, is like, it just, when you see the characters walking and living and breathing in a land, Cars Land being a good example also, it just adds an extra element of life and magic to it. And I think it's great having Rey and Chewbacca and Kylo Ren and the Stormtroopers, but that's a big land. Like, when you think of how expansive Galaxy's Edge is, and if you double that or add an extra third, I guess, with Fennec Shand and Boba Fett. That really adds a lot to the land. And I think if you could just keep doing that, even if you add some like secondary characters, maybe they're not as well known, but just some fun, maybe they're even just like people in uniform or something. I don't know. I think that would add a lot to the storytelling and the life. And if you want people to get involved, that's the way you get them involved. Like we've seen people going on missions with Black Widow in Avengers Campus. Like, and we've seen that happen sometimes with Rey, and it, I think, starting to happen again. And I'd love to see more of that happen. Maybe with Fennec Shand too. Who knows?
Maybe.
Okay. You got anything else on that?
Mm-mm.
All right. Another new thing. Fantasmic has returned to the Disneyland Resort. We saw it on opening night, opening show. What do you think about the return, Katie?
I love it. And it's something that it's something that I said to you when we were leaving the park that night. I said, it's for a 30-year-old show. They've done a lot of things better than some newer shows, and they're just using smoke and mirrors, like truly. Yep. Things are being set up, things are disappearing, all behind a giant water cloud that they project something on, and they do it so well that you literally cannot see through it. It's just fun to watch, and I think that bringing back that specific nighttime entertainment to Disneyland has a better traffic flow, and it eats people in a different way. 10 out of 10. I love Fan.
And it's fun to see the energy that comes with Fantasmic as well. And you're right, it's really big. It's a big giant outdoor stage show. Mm-hmm. And it's using traditional gimmicks that you would use on the stage. Like some of them are the same ones you see in like Phantom of the Opera or whatever. But I loved having it back. I look forward to seeing it again. Right now, if you want the front section that's in the middle, you do need to get dining reservations. I don't know that that's completely necessary, though. I think there was a lot of good seats for standby, and it is just standby. If you're willing to wait, you can get a good spot. I know Doug, for his spot, waited 6 hours on what was it, Sunday? Saturday. And other people waited 4 hours. And I presume as time goes on, it'll be less than that, because I just think Disney's going to encourage you to keep walking. But we will see how that plays out, and we'll let you know. But it is great to see Fantasmic back. And one thing that isn't in Fantasmic anymore, however, is Pinocchio. But he is coming to Disney Plus in September. And we got our first teaser trailer of him today, actually. Katie, what did you think of this teaser trailer? Was it yesterday? It was yesterday.
It was this morning.
It was this morning. I don't know. It all blends together.
No, it was yesterday.
Okay, I was like, I think it was
I'm
yesterday,
so confused.
Anyway, what'd you think of Pinocchio?
Time isn't real. I think it looks great, and I'm actually surprised to say that. When I saw that it was dropping, like they were putting out a trailer in Good Morning America, I was like, here we go again, another live action. But yeah, I think it's beautiful. I think Tom Hanks is a wonderful choice. And I realized I just pulled up the IMDb for the wrong Pinocchio. So that's hilarious. No,
you think you can't really have anybody but Tom Hanks in that role?
I agree. And he's so endearing, to the point where when he was doing Starlight, Starbright, the first Star I See, it was like heart-wrenching. And I was like, oh, I want him to get his wish. Like, yeah.
I wonder if there'll be an alternative ending for this show.
No.
That'd be funny. In the bonus features, there's like, this is the version where it doesn't end up happy. I don't know. That I think it'd be funny.
Don't say that.
It's an alternative ending. It's just a like, hey, haha. I don't know.
The big thing I want to talk about, though, is that Cynthia Erivo looks beautiful as Blue Fairy.
Yeah.
And I was so happy to see that. Like, just like the way she comes in through the window and like is granting wishes. It's stunning. I think visually this movie's gonna be stunning, and I'm a little bummed it won't be in theaters.
I actually think that brings up a really good point. Is I'm bummed this one's not in theaters. I'm kind of bummed we can't see Obi-Wan Kenobi on the big screen, because, in fact, if Disney wants money, just say, hey, we're going to do all 6 episodes on the big screen. Watch them concurrently. You can do it at the, I don't know, Hyperion or something and charge $60. I don't know,
I would
but
do it.
I feel like
I would do it.
Right. I think a lot of
Yeah.
people would, because I really think it would look amazing on the big screen. I think same with Pinocchio, and that would be very cool. I mean, they could do it with all the Star Wars movies right now, but or series right now. But Katie, we are running out of time. What should people do?
Just go to dapsmagic.com, check out all the Disney and geek news. As it happens, there was a frog in my throat. And then subscribe to our mailing list so you don't miss anything.
Also, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got a ton of Star Wars Celebration videos that are continuing to be posted on a daily basis. You don't want to miss any of them. We've also got upcoming videos coming from the parks. There's a lot of fun ones that I have waiting in the wings to post as soon as I get through the Star Wars ones. You won't want to miss those. And also, you don't want to miss any Geeks Corner, right? So make sure to subscribe for that as well. But we hope you have a fantastic week. We are out of time tonight, so we will see you round the corner.
Bye.